Hey everyone, Decent Eddie here. Well, hey, Thursday night worked out, right? Well, what a game. Anyway, we're moving on now. Past is the past. Week 9 continues, and it would be awesome if you gave a like, left a comment, subscribed, and hit the bell. I'd love you for it. Hey, one more thing before heading straight into these games. Even though I've been doing this for 20-ish years, never take what I say or what anyone else doing this says on faith alone, all right? Research your picks before putting your money on anything, at least one injury report, all right? Okay, here we go. Let's get into the Week 9 Sunday and Monday games. Falcons versus Patriots. This is a decent Eddie confident pick on the money line, favoring the Patriots with a 12.4 differential in my data. The market has the Patriots as 5.5 point favorites, and they're giving them a 70% chance to win. The over-under is 44.5 points. The Patriots, they've won 5 straight. They've got a great 6-2 record against the spread, and their offense is just rolling with Drake May. Atlanta, on the other hand, they've managed only about 10 points in each of the last 2 games. They're struggling offensively, whether it's Cousins or Penix at QB. Atlanta's best defense is against the pass, but the Patriots' run defense is ranked second in the league, which guts the Falcons' only path to winning in this game, Bijan Robinson eating the clock. We've got a hot team at home against a reeling offense that's hit the under in 5 of its last 6. The market total of 44.5 is likely a little high, but I'm sticking with the dominant trends. So it's Patriots 5.5 against the spread. I'm taking the under 44.5, and it's a pick on the money line for the Patriots. Panthers versus Packers. This is a decent Eddie confident pick for the Packers on the money line with a 16.7 differential in my data set. The market has Green Bay as a 13.5 point favorite with an astronomical 92% win probability. The total is set at 44.5 points. The Panthers' struggles on the road and the recent 40-9 failure against Buffalo are huge red flags. I'm thinking this is going to continue for Carolina because their strength, running the football, gets totally gutted by the Packers' run defense. Combine that with a chilly Lambeau Field and Jordan Love playing great at home, and this is a classic fade the bad team in bad weather scenario. Green Bay is going to win here unless something miraculous happens. So it's the Packers at 13.5 against the spread. The betting public is hot on the over, and I kind of agree. So I'm on the over 44.5, and it's a confident pick for the Packers on the money line that you'll probably need to parlay up with something to get some value out of, okay? Broncos versus Texans. This is a decent Eddie suboptimal pick for the Broncos money line with a 9-point differential in my model. The market has Houston as 1.5 point favorites against the spread and 55% win probability on the money line, and the over-under is set at 39.5 points. The books know what we know. The Broncos are on a 5-game win streak, but C.J. Stroud just picked apart San Francisco at home. Denver's defense is, they're really good. They lead the NFL in sacks, but they're dealing with injuries, and Houston's defensive line is powerful, which is bad news for Bo Nix, who struggles under pressure sometimes. The total of 39.5 points is the biggest red flag of all. It's tempting to hit the under given both defenses here, but the combined 4-0-1 over trend for both teams recently means this number is likely a trap. This is a tight one. And when the books and I don't agree on a favorite, I always take the underdog. So it's Broncos at 1.5 against the spread. I'm leaning to the over 39.5, and it's a fade on the Broncos money line because it is a suboptimal pick. You should take only with caution. All right, suboptimal, caution. Chargers versus Titans. This is a decent Eddie confident pick for the Chargers with a 21.9 differential between these teams in my data set. The Chargers are 9.5 point favorites, and the market is giving the Chargers a 79% chance to win. The over-under is 43.5. Brutal game for the Titans here, friends. Los Angeles is 5-3 and looking for a playoff spot. This is a must-win thing, and it looks like the Titans are going to be served up for lunch. The Titans are 1-7, 0-3 at home, and they have been outscored by 120 points. The return of Joe Alt has been huge, giving Justin Herbert a cleaner pocket to work from, and they just blew out the Vikings 37-10, posting 419 yards. Tennessee's defense allows the 4th most points per game, and they've lost their last 3 by double digits. I'm taking the Chargers at 9.5 against the spread. I'm taking the over 43.5 points, taking the Chargers on the money line regardless of value. Bears versus Bengals. This is a decent Eddie suboptimal money line also. It's favoring the Bears with the 7.8 differential. I'm around 57% in that range, by the way. The market has Chicago as 2.5-point favorites, flipping majorly from them being 3.5 dogs, which is crazy this late in the season. And they are giving them a 59% win probability. The total sits at 50.5 points. Friends, that massive 5-point line swing in favor of the Bears, I mean, that tells you all you need to know, guys. I mean, sharp money is betting on Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift to do some work against the Bengals defense that is completely cooked. They allowed 23 points in one quarter to the Jets and are giving up over 170 yards per game, while Joe Flacco's offense puts up points, scoring 30 plus back-to-back. The Bears' league-leading 11 interceptions will be the difference maker in a shootout. Cincinnati has hit the over in 6 of the last 7. I'm taking the Bears at 2.5 with caution. I'm going with the over 50.5 points, and the Bears' money line is a smidge of caution here too, okay? Colts versus Steelers. This is a decent, Eddie, confident pick for the Colts with a strong 12.5 differential. Indianapolis is a 3-point favorite right now, and the market gives them a solid 61% win probability, with the over-under sitting at 50.5 points. I'm telling you right now, you have to keep riding the hot-handed Colts here. I mean, they're 7-1, 6-2 against the spread, which is really great. Jonathan Taylor is playing at an MVP level, averaging 100-plus yards, tearing up defenses that can't seem to stop the run. The Steelers are an absolute wreck defensively right now. I mean, allowing the most passing yards in the league and getting gashed for 30-plus points in the last 2 losses, while Aaron Rodgers can hit DK Metcalf for a deep shot. The Steelers have huge injuries, including their starting safety and guard. The Colts offense, averaging nearly 34 points a game, simply too much for this banged-up team. I'm taking the Colts at 3 against the spread, taking the over 50.5 points, and taking the Colts money line regardless of the value. 49ers versus Giants. This is a decent, Eddie, confident pick for the 49ers with a 10.5 differential. I'm 64% in that range. The market is favoring the 49ers at 2.5 points. That's up from 3.5. The market is giving the Niners a 59% win probability here. The over-under is 48.5 points. That line movement from 3.5 signals that the Sharps are betting against San Francisco's East Coast trip, and they're mounting injury issues, especially up front. But I'm telling you right now, you have to ignore the shaky spread and focus on the matchups. I mean, Giants losing their star running back is that was a gross injury, by the way. But it is devastating. It's devastating for them. And their defense is allowing a brutal 5.5 yards per carry. Christian McCaffrey is going to be good against the Giants' D at the very least, and Mac Jones should find success against a banged-up secondary. With both defenses showing major cracks and the total climbing to 48.5, the value is on the points. I'm taking the 49ers on the money line. I'm taking the 2.5 point spread for the 49ers, and I'm on the under 48.5 points in that game. Vikings versus Lions. This is a decent, Eddie, confident pick on the money line for the Lions with a 16.6 differential in my data, and the market agrees. Lions are 8.5 point favorites, and they're giving Detroit an 83% win probability. The over-under, 48.5 points. Lions traditionally own the Vikings, and this game looks like a certified beatdown coming up. Detroit is coming off the bye. They're at home. They're 3-0 there against the spread. Minnesota hasn't covered in 9 straight games in Detroit, and how are you going to ignore that? The Vikings defense looks like it's kind of collapsing, giving up 26.5 points per game in the last 4, and their offense is relying on an inconsistent J.J. McCarthy, who is coming off a high ankle sprain. Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, and the Lions offense, I mean, they should coast on a soft Vikings defense. The Lions 8.5 against the spread is a comfortable lock for me. And with 6 of the Vikings, 7 games going over, I'm taking the over 48.5 points. I'm taking the Lions on the money line. Saints versus Rams. This is a decent, Eddie, confident pick for the Rams with a gargantuan 27.9 differential in my numbers. The market has hometown Rams at 14.5 point favorites and a whopping 92% implied win probability. The over-under sitting at 43.5 points. I mean, let's not overthink this one. The Saints are kind of a dumpster fire. Rams are 5-2, fresh off a bye, and their defense is crushing it, allowing just 10 points in the last 2 games. The Saints are a wreck. They're starting a rookie QB who can't stretch the field behind a practice squad offensive line. Stafford and Puka will have their way against this secondary. The line movement from 9.5 to 14.5 confirms the sharp action. I'm taking the Rams at 14.5 against the spread. I'm taking the under 43.5, and taking the Rams on the money line, but put it in a parlay just to add some value to it, okay? Jaguars versus Raiders. This is a decent Eddie confident pick for the Jaguars with a 13.9 differential between these two teams. The market has Jacksonville as 3-point favorites, giving them a solid 61% win probability on the money line. The over-under, it's sitting at 44.5. The Raiders are next door to useless right now. 2-5, dead last in the AFC West, last in first downs, red zone offense, and Geno Smith is handing out interceptions like Halloween candy. Now, the Jags haven't been perfect either, but they've shown some life with wins over the Chiefs and the Niners this season. Trevor Lawrence is steady enough to capitalize, especially against the Raiders, who've allowed 30-plus in 3 of their last 5. The line movement from Jags plus 1.5 to Jags minus 3 is revealing too. I'm taking the Jaguars at minus 3 against the spread, taking the under 44.5 points, and taking the Jaguars on the money line. This is the decent Eddie game of the week. Chiefs versus Bills. This is a decent Eddie danger pick for the Chiefs with a 0.7 differential. But honestly, I'm setting that aside because the sharp money has spoken. The market flipped the spread to Chiefs minus 1.5. That's a pretty good indicator, and the Chiefs are getting a 57% implied win probability by the market. The over-under is set at 52.5 points. I'm telling you, you have to follow the momentum here. Patrick Mahomes and that offense are cooking with gas right now, averaging 31.5 points since week 4. And the defense is quietly putting in the work, giving up only 7 points a game in their last 3. Buffalo is becoming slightly inconsistent, and they have key injuries on defense. I think you forget the Bills' home dog narrative. The Chiefs are simply better right now, even if only slightly. More importantly, they look like a more cohesive team at the moment. I'm going with Kansas City at minus 1.5 and the Chiefs on the money line with extreme caution. I would say they're a no play to you guys without any guilt at all. I'd stay away from it if I were you. I'm doing it for the data tracking only. I'm fading that high total with the under 52.5 points. Okay? Next up, Seahawks versus Commanders. This is a decent Eddie confident pick for Seattle with a 12.3 differential between these teams. Eddie scores. The market has Seattle as 3-point favorites and are giving the Seahawks a 62% chance to win straight up. The over-under is 47.5 points. The market and I agree. The Seahawks should win this game. They are a good 5-2 team, 5-2 against the spread, a perfect 3-0 against the spread on the road, proving they know how to travel and finish games. The Commanders are on a 3-game skid and are a weak against the spread team this season, especially bad as underdogs. They're facing a rested Seahawks defense that ranks first in the NFL against the run, which should force Washington's sputtering offense into unfavorable passing situations. Seattle's offense should do pretty well against the Commanders' defense that has given up about 25 points a game. I'm taking Seattle minus 3 against the spread, taking the under 47.5 points, and I'm taking the Seahawks on the money line. Cardinals versus Cowboys. This is a decent Eddie danger pick for the Cowboys with only a 0.9 differential. I'm calling it a no play on the money line. All right, I'm going to do it for the data. I don't recommend it to my buddies. The market has Cowboys as 2.5-point favorites. The market is giving the Cowboys a 60% chance to win. The over-under, 53.5 points. The Cowboys' defense are kind of bleeding points from time to time, and they're missing some key people in the secondary, I think. Dak Prescott is putting up some points at 30.8 points a game, which is cool and all, but the defense is ranked 31st. Arizona's coming off a bye, and, I mean, let's be real here. Kyler Murray is expected back to face a tattered secondary. Well, okay. The Cardinals may be 2-5, but they've covered 3 of 4 as an underdog and played, everyone pretty close. The line that jumped 6 points to 53.5 points, and the Sharps are telling us to expect a shootout. The Cowboys have the firepower, but Arizona covers a spread in high-scoring games. Give me the Cardinals at 2.5 against the spread. I'm going to take the over 53.5. I am asking you to avoid the money line. I'm going to take it for my data, though. And that's it, guys. Parlays. All right, if you stick Penix Jr. tossing 175 or more yards with C.J. Stroud also throwing 175 yards or more, along with J.K. Dobbins getting 40-plus yards receiving, your win probability by the books data is around 54%. Or you could do Troy Franklin getting 25-plus yards receiving, Oronde Gadsden getting 25-plus yards receiving, David Montgomery getting 30 or more yards rushing. That win probability is also around 54%. Mix and match out of those or choose your own. But I will always endorse a 3-leg parlay with odds between -400 to -450 because if you do that, your odds are going to stay at or above 51%. Regardless of what you choose, I never recommend more than a 3-leg parlay due to the risks of combined probabilities. Remember, do not spend more than 10% of your bankroll in total across all your wagers in a day. Never chase losses, and if you need help with a gambling problem, check out my channel's description. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Hey, if you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, tap the bell, get my picks early enough to do your own research. Follow me at Decent Eddie Picks on Instagram, Facebook, X at Decent Eddie Picks with PIX, not PICKS. I mean, whatever. Somebody else had it. I don't know how. And I'm on TikTok, too. I'll update team grades there, last-minute thoughts if I have them, in-game thoughts when I have them. But this is Decent Eddie signing off. Have an awesome day.